Guys, today we're going to talk about the wall. And, it's a really simple concept, but people keep messing it up. And we're going to use the late, great Pamela Anderson as an example. So here we go. Okay, so today on nuclear reactions, we're going to be talking about the wall and Pamela Anderson and how, again, we're shocked that a woman is aging and everyone wants to dunk on her or dunk on the women that defend her and all that stuff. I get it. Um, a lot of guys that gravitate to these spaces online feel kind of slighted by women and they want the revenge fantasy. I get that. I always say, either you're never gonna get it or you're gonna get it and you're not gonna like it. Right. So for the most part, um, most guys don't really understand the wall as much as they should. If they're in these spaces and they're learning something, or they're trying to come away with some kind of value that improve their lives, I can say like, hey, you don't really understand what the wall is. The wall doesn't start physically, right? And also another thing I want to point out too, that using celebrities is not always the best way to dissect and learn from human behavior, right? They have different lifestyles of which we can't comprehend. We don't know the amount of people in their lives that are funding their lifestyles or letting them do whatever they want. We don't know if they're under contract to do silly or crazy things in order to stay relevant, in order to keep people around them rich. We don't know these things, right? All we do know is pictures and articles, right? We don't, and maybe at the end, a public legal case where they're involved. That's pretty much all we know, right? In between those three nodes of information that we get, we don't know what goes in between. So a lot of times we want to theorize and come up with conspiracies about actors and actresses and all that. But the truth is we really don't know what's going on in their life. So that's why I say you guys got to go out there and experience these things, these phenomena on your own, right? And they will happen, right? You will meet women that have hit the wall, like the women from your high school, your college that you used to hit on or ignored you and are now in your DMs or doing crazy things online and trying to maintain their beauty at all costs. You will see that, right? But the internet is the internet, and the only thing that really matters on the internet is bombast and clicks and things blowing up to the surface in a sea um of stories and media and what have you. So Pamela Anderson is, I would say, the most famous uh adult actress of all time, if not up there. She got famous because of uh, p- uh Playboy and Baywatch, where I think she ushered in an era of women with big fake boobs, right? And that was like what the 90s and I think early 80s, if I'm not mistaken, was about. Rock and roll, big fake boobs, McDonald's, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, all these things in terms of what would define American media in the 90s and late 80s, right? Um, so uh, she's a cultural icon. Everyone knows who she is. But a photo of her resurfaced where she looked really old, and I think she swore off makeup or something like that. Um, and the more kind of less nuanced content creators and people who kind of have their revenge fantasy and all that stuff kind of jumped on this, and then I think this has happened before. When she's post pictures like, holy crap, that she looks old and all that. But and they're like, the wall's undefeated, blah blah blah. And let's just remember, guys, the wall does not start physically, right? The male sex drive is pretty powerful. Like, we will see a girl that's well, other girls don't even understand why we like her. They'll be like, "Why do you like her?" Or we'll see a story where a guy has like a model wife, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Arnold Schwarzenegger literally was with a Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he decided to blank the the help, right? Like, that's the male sex drive. It's hard to fathom how powerful it is sometimes and how incentivizing it is for people to understand and like comprehend, right? The same thing with OnlyFans models posting, I made this amount of money. And it's just like, wow, men are the male sex drive. This is where it goes. You know, it goes to the like, this is the end effect of a society that doesn't know what to do with the male sex drive, right? Um, so the wall, it starts in the mind, right? It starts here. It doesn't start physically because as men, we really can't tell initially that a woman is aging as fast as women can. Women are more uh, tethered to their self-image than we are to their image. So, meaning that um, because of things like wife goggles, where men see their wives as the same age as when they met them for a long time, or we're just very horny that day, or whatever reason, we kind of overlook women's flaws all the time because there is no floor, there is no attraction floor for men, right? Is she hot? Is she ready? Or is she just ready? Right? It doesn't matter. Men, obviously, there's men that eventually they kind of like, hey, I gotta have some standards. I can't be seen in public with certain type of women. Got it? Like, that happens with age and leverage as you get leverage as a man. But for the most part, yeah, there is no really a real attraction floor for men. So we overlook these things, and we think not until a woman is completely dried raisin, like Jennifer Aniston in her was she like late 40s now, that um that she hit the wall. But the truth is, women can hit the wall as early as their early 20s, right? It's the realization, right, that they can no longer compete with a younger version of themselves. And that is ultimately what the wall is. When they hit that realization, it could be at any point. Women that use their sexuality for money, like whether it be models, OF chicks, adult film actresses, or just women that just are addicted to social media and taking pictures of themselves. They're usually the first ones to realize this because they have a really clear cut metric of what of how much their attention, money, and opportunities or beauty is getting them. So if you're a woman that relies on impressions to make money, whether it be on Instagram or some kind of uh, adult film platform, right? And you see them dip like 5%, 10%, that's when it's going to start hitting you, right? And women don't like this fact because it's a dark reality for them. It's very difficult for a woman to comprehend and to face the reality of like, hey, you're not going to be able to get this much male attention. They will fight. They will make up all these things in their mind and try to convince you of it, right? Try to, and shame and guilt and all that stuff that, hey, why don't you find me attractive? You're crazy. But the thing is, like, I I'm a man. I'm attracted to youth and beauty, right? I can't control that. And if I have the leverage to do it, I will, right? You can't shame men. It's really hard to shame men with leverage nowadays. Like men are slowly starting to wake up. There's always going to be men that don't get it, right? But now that the consequences for not waking up are starting to become bigger in terms of, court cases and we're all connected to social media, men are going to start waking up a little more. So the wall is going to be more pronounced because um, while now it's easier for women to stand out because of their sexuality, it's also harder for them to maintain that for a long time because there's always a new hot thing on the block, right? We're gonna forget about Sydney Sweeney in 3 years, right? We're gonna forget about Hawk Tuah in 3 years, not because they're talented or not talented or anything like that, right? It's because there's always gonna be something new. And these women have made their sexual appeal the driving force for their business or for what attracts people to them. So um essentially that's what it is. It starts in the mind. Women are very in tune, like I said, in terms of what their what their how much sexual capital they have. If they see their likes dip 5%, it's an alarm. alarm bells go off, right? And we have a clear cut metric for that, which is social media, the fake internet points, the likes, the attention from men. And not only that, like offers from men to do things for them, fly them out, give them free gifts, and all that. So they know, they can tell, right? They can tell. Uh, and it's a tough road for them, the decline. Uh, a lot of guys say there's no comeuppance, and I agree. Like these women, like Pamela Anderson, she's had what, at 5 marriages, and I don't know if she's married right now. I'm looking at her life. Um, I don't know if she's currently married. Okay, so she got married in December 24th, 2020, and then she got divorced on January 21st, 2022. Okay, so she's single, but she got married 5 times. She had 5 opportunities after everything that happened in her life, all the abuse that she went through, all the was it Tommy Lee dating a bad boy alpha that and then went to jail right after, and Tommy Lee also abused her. Um, she went all this through this whole roller coaster ride of just bad decisions and bad men, and you know, she's still, you know, she's still getting cast in roles, and she's still a cultural icon. Like whether she's happy or not, I don't know. But realize this too, that you might get your revenge fantasy and you might not like it either. It might be women from your past that you truly thought, hey, this girl's going places and she's gonna get the guy. Like she's my ex and she was great to me and things didn't work out. Or my sister, or this or that. Whatever woman in your life that you like and even love, they may never find the guy, and it might not make you feel good, right? So you might even get your revenge fantasy, you don't know it. But the thing is, that's essentially what the wall is, right? The wall starts here. A woman could be 25 and realize that, hey, that 21-year-old that came into work is given all the opportunities that I don't have. Or she can be 30 and then realize, like, hey, last year I had, like, when I was 25, I had 3 guys trying to get me free stuff and get me um, free trips and free opportunities and get me on their show, whatever form of opportunities. Whereas now I'm 30 and it's like one guy, and they know this, they feel it. So uh, that's just the way. That's what the wall is. And you as a guy, you won't be able to tell the difference between a 25-year-old and a 30-year-old, right? Unless they really just don't care about their health at all. Unless they get fat, unless they get all these things, which also contributes to the wall. Because if you become unattractive, then you will mentally realize it faster than you think that, hey, it's because I'm chubby that I'm not getting attention and opportunities and free stuff from men. So in today's society, men are just tripping over themselves to give women free things, right? And a lot of people could argue, like, yes, even single moms, even overweight women, even women that are masculine and rude and all that stuff are still getting opportunities, right? But I'll tell you this, there's a makeup industry for a reason, right? There's a reason that the body modifications are being popularized. Um, and it's not because of our preference as men, right? The regular guys, right? It's because these women are trying to recapture something they lost, right? Um, there's even charts, I don't have the chart, where like older women tend to show off more cleavage as they get older because they're competing, right? When I go to my gym, I see usually women in their late 20s, early 30s in there because they have to compete. When I go to salsa night, it's always the older, bitter women crapping all over the younger women. The younger women get the most attention from the DJ, the instructor. The younger women get the most dances, um, while the older women are just sitting there, kind of mulling over why they got passed up one more time, right? It got to the point where even uh, I went to the bar recently, and there's a bartender that's flirty with me, and I get it. She's just trying to get a better tip, but also, it looks pretty from far away. It looks like she's super into me, but Um, there's an older woman there that she still looks great for her age, right? But she came up to me. She's like, uh, "I know you're flirting with the bartender, but you want to dance with me, right?" And that right there, when she was younger, if she was younger or 10, 15, 20 years younger, men would be lining up for her. She'd have to be fighting off men. She wouldn't have to be approaching men who are already occupied with another woman um, to dance, right? To have physical contact and all that. So, guys, take it for what it is. Um, don't be like the wall is undefeated. Pamela Anderson hit the wall a long time ago, right? She's not dumb. She has probably smart business people around her, and they all understand how perishable a woman's looks are, right? She hit the wall a long, long, long time ago. Most women hit the wall before you even know it. You don't even know, right? And I want you to take that away from this when, whatever podcaster, men's a voice for men or whoever podcast says, the wall is undefeated. I'm like, this old lady has been hitting the wall since she was 28, 27, right? This has nothing to do with her age right now. It has to do with at some point she realized I cannot get Tommy Lee anymore. I cannot get famous drummers or athletes. I cannot get on Baywatch anymore. Right? I can't get on 90210. Right? And that's the realization that women have. And they're gonna fight it. They're gonna write articles about it. They're gonna be angry. They're gonna call us red pill guys evil and that we're mistaken. This is literally the biggest pain point women have. And then they go around and they do everything possible to stay younger. They become experts in makeup. They wear shapewear, right? They become fitness junkies or become really good at taking pictures different angles. Um, they spend half of their time on the internet trying to prove guys wrong that they're still hot, talking about it. I mean, look at Michaela. Like, uh, was it Michaela? Somebody said, "Hey, the wall is um not real or something, whatever, the wall is not real kind of post." And I said, "Hey, the wall is not a physical thing because if I looked at you, I wouldn't be able to tell your age between 25 and 30 unless, you really didn't take care of yourself. The wall is this. The wall is you explaining to someone that the wall doesn't exist. Because when you were 18 or 19, 20, 21, you weren't like, let me prove these guys wrong. You already knew I'm in my peak. I'm hot. I can do whatever I want all the time. Men do whatever they want for me. There's no reason to explain. There is no, hey, I got to explain away why this, and that, and make it men's fault. You were just hot. You were hot, and that's it. Beauty doesn't have to explain itself. Youth and beauty doesn't have to explain it itself. It just is. Right. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much all. Let me see if there's any good comments here. 2 uploads in 1 day. New, yeah. Um, hey guys, what's up? Julian, Baron. Yeah, hard drugs, plastic surgery. Yeah, he's crunching right now. If you guys could hear him, he's like crunching right now. We got Jack here. What's up, man? She was a niece of the Kennedy family, correct? Yeah. So yeah, she was one of the yeah, hawk toys and hot. Yeah, but there's a sexual compliance kind of thing going on there. Like she is an average dumpy girl who says, "Hey, if you want men, you got to do this." And men are like, "Wow, an average dumpy girl that understands me, understands what I want," and that's the appeal of her, right? But ever since then, she's moving away from that appeal, and this is a lot of women the problem a lot of women have with image, where they go from being this very homely, accessible like girl that, hey, I that is attainable. Like that dumpy looking girl I see her all the time in this neighborhood. Like right, like girls like that. They're nice, they're dumpy looking, and who knows, they're probably good in bed. Who knows? Um, but that's the appeal. And then they get clout or fame or a career or something, and they become over time more. They lose that girl next door vibe, and they become greedy, bitchy, and all that stuff. Revenge is a weak man's dream. Yeah. Understand, guys, that most women absolute power corrupts absolutely. Um, and we've given women so much power. They're basically children of bazooka. So somewhere along the line, they're gonna make a really bad mistake, or the chickens are gonna come home to roost, and they're gonna have to make peace, right? And I've been that guy who I've I've had front row seats to revenge fantasies all the time, and not one of them made me feel good. Not one of them was like, "Ha, bitch, gotcha." I've had women that, after realizing they were crazy and stopped hooking up with them, call me and be like, "Hey, can you be a sperm donor for uh for my future son? You have to sign a paper and you can never contact with him, but I just want to be a mom." And I'm like, "Wow, you need to go date." Like, that is, guys would relish that opportunity until it's on your doorstep, and then you're just like, "Holy crap!" And it's sad. It's a pretty sad situation. Um, I have an ex that I just saw a picture of her with the most dumpy looking, chubby, just, and this girl is Coke bottle shaped, Puerto Rican, intelligent, sexy, and you know, we dated in the past, and I guess I was just a fiery, passionate lover for her for a while. But just to see the guy she's with right now, it's just like, wow, you can do so much better. And I felt so like, but hey, maybe she's happy, but I don't know that it's crazy, right? You will get your revenge fantasy, and you might not like it. I haven't. I've been like, hey, I've had front row tickets. I've had women that are liberal and sleep with me, and then they're like, "Hey, sorry, I had this disease." I go get checked, I'm good, and and then I see how they live their life, right? Because after that event, you kind of like want to do a little bit of aftercare, it's not easy for women, um, and it's just a mess. I'm like, you're never gonna get a boyfriend. Like, you're crazy. Like, there's nothing you can do now. Like, you need it. You need someone. You need to turn in your agency to someone else because you've made so many mistakes, and it's not pretty, right? Thank you. So, female natured. Mona, I'm mutant. I can't be mad at women when so much bull runs were because dudes wanted to cash out from some Brody. They call us ageist, yeah. Maybe I missed it, but why is Pam suddenly currently relevant in regards to the wall topic? Did she make? Yeah, it was just like I think Myron Gaines quote tweeted it, and then two factions: the guys that want the revenge fantasy guys, and the girls that are like, I'm in, I'm she's beautiful, of course, because they see themselves in her, and they have to convince themselves that once they lose sexual capital, that they're still worthy as a human being. And if you look at Pamela Anderson's timeline, she looks like a normal chick, like a normal older lady. She posts flowers and she bakes, and I don't know if she posts her kids, but like I'm like she looks like a normal 60-year-old woman, right? She's settled into her role as a 60-year-old woman. She isn't wearing makeup anymore. She isn't trying to bag bad boys. She has let it go. At least that's what the pictures say, right? Who knows what's happening behind the scenes? That's what women's biggest fear is having to be average and not being that important anymore, right? Just being a 60-year-old lady that bakes and posts flowers and gardening, and that's millennial woman's biggest fear right now. Like, that's like that life is prison to them. But that's like normal. That's a normal thing. As you get older, you're not gonna be hot. It's I can't believe we have to explain this to women. If she wasn't at the wall, she wouldn't have to try convince people it isn't a thing. She'd be busy reaping benefits of not hitting the wall. Exactly. She'd be um she wouldn't have time. She'd have too many offers from free stuff from men getting free stuff, whether it be attractive men she likes get trying to take her out on dates. Like, she would be busy, right? I see you're going the Cappy way of banging it. So yeah, I'm just trying something different. I'm just trying to make see if posting more, because my channel is starting to like tank a little bit, and I want to see if I can boost it up or keep it normal um for a while. So see, like, I'm just experimenting and all that stuff. But also, I think there's a lot of value for you guys in this. So yeah. Um Paulina Poriskova, been at this before. Pamela, who's that? Is that the one that was crying on social media that she can't get a guy or something? Nothing new on this one, yeah. Revenge fantasy is low key depressing, especially when you see the aftermath of it within your own family with goofy aunties. Yeah, and not only that, coworkers. There's coworkers that I liked, that female coworkers that had it, that like watched out for me and got me what I needed. Right, and I had a good relationship with them, and it's tough to see them single. I'm like, girl, like go get some, go be a hoe for a couple months, and you'll find that, But pure crash out, yeah, yeah. Every time Myron posts something, it's a crash out session. So, remember, guys, chances are you'll never see the girl face the consequences of her actions. That one that made your life miserable. Yeah, even your exes that like cheated on you or did bad things, they will probably get everything they ever wanted, and you have to be ready for that, right? Or most of my exes who did me dirty are down pretty bad, and you'll get that too. Yeah, she has a cookbook out. Oh, there you go. Sounds like she just wants to live her life now, which I can respect. Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't. When okay, I know that it's easy to say statements like she's gonna be alone with her cats. She's not gonna have, but like, think about this. Think about what true loneliness is. Think about that people just stop caring that you exist. Think about like you're gonna go to Thanksgiving, you're gonna see these women in every family just bitchy and alcoholic and SSRIs, and they're not gonna have anyone. And they're gonna have nieces and nephews that come maybe see them once in a while when she's not being mean, right? Realize that these women are going to have to go out and date because they have intimacy needs. Realize that this is gonna be the biggest generation of women that have to deal with this, right? It's gonna be pretty sad. Right, because millennial men that are worth a damn are probably not dating millennial women anymore. Probably dating Zoomer girls now, right? So, um, Paulina was that Russian ex supermodel that Rollo used to talk about. Yeah, and then but there's also one that was on. I think he was sitting across from that was making all these demands like, I don't go on coffee dates or drink dates, or I go only on expensive dates, blah blah. Like asking for all these things and all that stuff. But man, that's different. But yeah, damn, so that's why I can't find anyone my age at all. The 30 plus dating them. Um, no, dude. Remember that also millennials suck too. Like millennials suck. The thing that we have going for ourselves is that we're farther along and we have more money and a little bit more experience, right? But there's plenty of simpy millennials. Plenty. As a matter of fact, we're leading the charge. I think Zoomers are gonna match us soon. I don't know. But like, don't feel discouraged. Guys still suck. A Zoomer that understands game, understands women a little, at least at a reasonable level, is still gonna do better than a millennial who's just throwing money at women, especially expecting it to stick, right? Yeah, yeah, exactly. As a millennial, most millennial men are goobers. Yeah, we're all most of us are goobers. Most of us are not only that, we're goobers and liberal and pro women and all that garbage. Like it's terrible, right? Um, and we're easily swayed. Um, but just watch out for guys like me, because guys like me are kind of the ones taking. But guys like me are rare, right? Not to toot my own horn too much, but a guy with solid logistics, with game, red pill knowledge, is in shape, decent job, and the time and energy to do it, right? Those are the guys that you have to be careful for. But also remember, most women don't want to be in relationships. So just have fun, get fucked up, go do the things, make mistakes. Your number one thing is stay out of jail and don't get a girl pregnant. Right? Use protection at all costs. Don't drink and drive. Um, and then stay away from losers. Like when you're like 18, your loser friends are gonna be awesome, right? But as you get older, you're gonna have to start thinking like, hey, I can't hang out with this guy. This guy's a loser. He's too much of a simp, or he's an alcoholic, or he's a criminal, or whatever. But for the most part, your main goals for your 20s are stay out of jail, um, and don't get a girl pregnant, unless you're in love with her, right? But don't get a girl pregnant. So, oh yeah. I live literally in the center of Dallas in one of the nicest neighborhoods, and I tell you, I don't understand the obsession with hot blondes or like even Sydney Sweeney on the internet, because I live among them. Like 80% of the people here are blonde women, and they're all fit. I'm like, man, it's crazy that when you surround yourself around, and blondes aren't even my thing, right? But when you surround yourself by other hot women, how you see how silly internet, how obsessed they are. I'm like, guys, I see this all the time. Like, I can go walk my dog right now, and I'll see 2 or 3 of them, right? And I'll even wave, and they'll wave back. And that's the thing, guys. Right now, as you guys like learn these concepts of what the role really is, or even moving to the right part of town and be surrounding yourself with women, you're gonna start feeling like you're like the only person that's not a clown in a room full of people. Everyone else is gonna be clowning, yelling at each other. The wall's undefeated and revenge fantasy, and women are gonna be arguing back. Meanwhile, all the attractive, hot, smart people are like fucking and having fun and doing their own thing, right? Like, do you think the women online that are like, we have to defeat the red pill, and then the men online that are just like the revenge fantasy, blah blah. You think they deserve each other, right? Because none of them they're both talking about women in the abstract, right? Yes, the wall is real, but we've defined what it is. What is also real is you taking action and putting yourself amongst hot women as best you can. Um, and on top of that, now you get to see how silly everyone is. You can laugh, right? You'll be way ahead. So that's the Zoomers' biggest problem. It's thinking, since you guys are a little bit more online than any other generation, you start to think that these online abstractions are true, and I'm telling you, they're not. Most of them are not, right? Yes, the RP concepts are proven sometimes by celebrities, but for the most part, just go out there and experience with me yourself, and then you can make your own decision, and then maybe one day you can trade your own notes and bring something to the table. And it doesn't have to be in the abstract because you copied it from another podcast or a book. You could actually say, hey, I saw this with my own eyes. So yeah, I walk by my apartment. I don't even go to my apartment gym. I go to LA Fitness, and there's just 2 girls that with like insane bodies that if you posted them on Twitter, people would be like, wow, amazing, and they'd go like, 100,000 impressions. I'm like, guys, that's a normal chick in downtown Dallas. What am I missing here? Like, are guys inside all the time? Um, and then they'll post a Latina, and I'm like, yes, a lot of Latinas are unattractive, but like, I just saw that a chick that looks just like her at salsa night, and she gave me a kiss on the cheek. We danced. She even asked me to dance first, and we're like, it's not that you're sleeping with them; it's that you're around them, that you're comfortable being around attractive women. So when you go on the internet, you can laugh at these people like being really creepy and having these like, you know, weird interactions or like worshiping women. Hell, one day I even approached a porn star at my gym, mainstream. I didn't even know she was one. And I just started talking to her. I didn't ask her for a number, right? This was like 2021. And then, I find out later she was one. And I was like, wow, like that was like nothing. That was like a normal interaction. Like that wasn't a big deal. Obviously, if I would have known, that probably would have been a little weird. It would have knocked my confidence a little bit. But I'm like, wow, this is why are we worshiping things behind a screen so much? It's just women, right? And the only way to get to that mindset is to surround yourself with them, you know? Surprising amount of fit dudes in my little suburb, only massive goblinas, Walmart golems, and then Jim Gordon. You probably live in Texas then. Sounds like a small Texas town to me. Be the man in the arena. Sure, yeah. Alex Eubank straight crashed out, tried to conch himself. Who's Alex Eubank? Forget the wall boy. It's not your problem. Mental point of origin. Live your life how you want it. Become the guy she wants, then pull the rug. No morality in dating. Yep. Really that simple. Easier said than done. Takes a lot of self-reflection and development, but at the end of the day, it's your life. Be incredibly selfish, and you'll be happy. All right, guys. Well, great show. Hopefully, I didn't yap too much. Follow the Substack. Uh, the fashion guides out on my Patreon. Um, and I guess I'll see you next time.